Good evening, good morning. It's about close to 11 p.m., just under an hour before the Euro market opens. It's basically going to be Monday, the January 29th, 2018. I'm going to get started with Bitcoin. This is a 4-hour chart. Bitcoin is consolidating in a daily time frame. It is definitely up in a weekly, and it's definitely up in a monthly time frame. With that being said, if this top is wave 3, I have the A, B, and I have a 3-wave move down from here, and now we are in a triangle on Elliott's terms, which is a sideways move. It's a consolidating move, and what's happening basically is you have buyers and sellers who are not in agreement, and as you can see, over the course of roughly a week or so, price made a high of about close to 13,000, and it made a low of about 9,100. Since then, it's pretty much have been consolidating. It's choppy. It's a sideways move. In Elliott terms, in Elliott wave terms, that's a triangle. So this definitely looks like a bearish triangle where I have, this is wave A at the top, this is B, possibly a move for C, and then if this is correct, you'll have wave D that will come closer to a lower 10,000. You'll have another move up for E that will probably go to around 11,500, and then that will complete wave 4. And if that's the case, you'll see a swift move to the downside, which will make the Bitcoin go to lower levels. If this is the case, most likely Bitcoin would find its support roughly either between 8,000 or lower. It can go to around 6,500 as well. If you look at this in terms of a smaller time frame, then it can give you a little bit more of a clue on what's going on. You can clearly see on an hour chart that here's the indication that's good. It's good news that Bitcoin is going to go up. 12,000, well, basically 11,980 was the key resistance to go above, so that price can go to higher levels. Price did go above 11,980, and it actually went to 12,175. Now, what we need to see is at what point is price going to find support in this particular level and break up, because technically this still kind of held. It did go a slight bit above it, but not above it to where it should have basically broke probably maybe 12,200. But it did break my resistance level of where the next buy signal should occur. So at that point, we will be looking for something in this area to hold. If these are indications that price is going to the upside, well then at some point well before 10,000, price will need to halt and reverse. If price starts coming back towards this 10,550 and it breaks it, it's basically going to the downside. So that's kind of what I'm looking for to see if price is going to find support, like for example like it did right now at 11,289. If it does that and then you see this little 3-wave choppy move, price still needs to break above 11.9 again, and at that point if it breaks above it, then now you have a buy signal, because at that point you'll have a buy signal to go to the next level of 13,100. You'll also continue to 13.6 to 14,150, and then from 14,150 you got to go into 15,150, 15,650, and so on and so forth. It will continue, and eventually it will go above that high. So that's what I'm looking for. But this, to me, it's difficult to say, okay, it broke it, now it's time to buy, because it broke it, then it went right back. So had you bought here, you would be down. So I would like to see it impulsively break it and maybe roughly go towards more towards 12,250, and then it can continue going up. At this point right now, Bitcoin could still be doing what I said on a larger time frame, to where it's still consolidating. And basically, if this is wave 3 here, you have this top as an A, you have this as a B, now you have this as a C, you have wave D that's most likely going to come and find support at 10,550. It may come just under it a little bit, but it cannot go below 99.05. If it does that, then this entire count that I'm saying is wrong. And then basically, if this is 3, this will be A, this will be like possibly A, B, and then possibly a C for B. And then you'll have another move up for C that couldn't go above the A. And it's going to take a very long time if that's the case. I don't see that, but that's definitely an alternative, that we're currently in a different wave of the triangle. So the more that this market plays out and the more it consolidates, the longer it's going to take, basically being in that particular pattern. So until it breaks one of those particular turquoise lines and breaks it impulsively, you technically do not have a buy or a sell signal. Just keep that in mind. Moving on to another market. Let's see what I have here. No, I don't want to do that one. S&P. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash technically up in all time frames, monthly, weekly, and daily. But what price needs to do is to break 1880 for it to continue to higher levels. As long as price continues to it is already broken what was the support of 1460, so it was definitely a good buy last week when I spoke of it breaking, I'm sorry, technically not even going below it. So if price does come down, if it breaks the 1460, now you have room to the downside, and it will definitely go more back towards to 1000 basically. So it appears like it may be on the up and up, but until price comes back up to 1880 and breaks it, the cryptocurrencies, well, at least Bitcoin itself, it's not a good thing to be in. So I'll remain on the sidelines until I see. Well, I'm not trading anyway, because it's not even, I've not even been doing it almost a month yet. So, but just you definitely want to make sure that the 1880 is broken for a long, or the 1460 is broken for a short. Let's see what else I got here. I was doing another market. And yeah, here it is here. Crude oil. So this is the first time I've done crude oil in quite some time. I'm not sure if my harmonic pattern support and resistance levels will work, but it's worth a try. So this is an hour chart. I'm going to come down to a 15-minute chart. Nope, I'm going to go back to an hour. That doesn't look right. Currently, price needs to break 67.10, which is here. If it breaks 67.10, you're definitely going to see a nice move up from 67 to possibly 72. Obviously not right away, but it'll be the next buy. The oil is up in the weekly, it's up in the monthly, it's up in the daily. So I technically wouldn't be looking to go short in a market that's been trending up, especially in the oil, because it has a lot of volatility. So if you do plan to take these particular trades, you want to see if it's going to come down from current level of 66 to roughly mid 66 or a high 65. If 6500 or if 65 even holds, it may be a great buy at that particular point. But just keep in mind that if it breaks 64.50, well then it's actually going to break and go down to 63.60 or 62.50 or 61.40 or 6100, and at one of those points you'll find support. But if I had to put a bet on it based on these particular levels, I would say that at some point tomorrow or Tuesday, price will probably find some support in here, and then it will actually break the 67.10 and swiftly make its move to the upside. Moving on to a monthly euro. So as you can see, this red line is a 200 simple moving average, and it broke it just shy, but once it broke it, it appears like price it may close under it. If it does that, that's a possibility just on basic technical analysis that price should be ending its uptrend and finding some pullback, and a reversal basically should be near. On a smaller time frame, I do expect one more wave up, but it could be possible that the top is already here at 125.40. I'm expecting a move to go to at least 126 even or a little higher. And right now I have this as an A, and then a B, and then maybe a C that's going to go to around 23.50 or so, at which I have a buy order in at that point. It's possible that it can get there, and it's possible that it may not. So as we look on a smaller time frame, as you can see clearly last week, so I took out my positions. I exited a couple of times. It was a really good week for me, but I didn't get to trade this huge downtrend. I ended up catching here, and I caught this particular move, and then I exited somewhere around here, and I was expecting to get back in roughly around right here, but I missed it. This was today, and I did miss that one, but from the looks, it is possible that we may see one more test of this low. Now currently where I'm at, I'm a little bit lower than that by about 20 pips. I may not get popped in, but it's worth it. I can catch it. If it doesn't get me here, I may try to re-enter here, but I'm expecting it to break this particular support level just a tad bit and hopefully get me in at around 23.45. That's where I'm comfortable buying, and the reason why I'm saying I'm comfortable buying there is because this may be the top, and if this is the top, well, price most likely will break my 23.45 and continue lower. So the reason why I'm comfortable buying this low is because if it does pop me in and price does continue, well, I'm going to exit right at my turquoise at 123.26. So that's only a 20 pip stop loss. I'm comfortable with that. At that point, I can wait for a small pullback, roughly to about to 23.66 again, and then I can take the market short. So this hence is the reason why I'm not in this market, and I don't see price continuing higher from this level. But I can be wrong, because at the end of the day, I have no clue what this market is going to do, and Elliott or harmonic patterns aren't 100% accurate. Nothing is. So with that being said, I'm basically just willing to take that gamble and go from there. These are the particular support and resistance levels. If price hopefully does go above the current high, well then you have prices that will go. I have at least, it can go to almost 12700 at 126.90, which is here. 126.85 or so. If it breaks the support level and goes below this turquoise of 123.26, well, now you have a pretty nice move down to possibly 120, as you can see. But it's technically, as of last week, it's still not well, look, let's see what's going on here. See, this, I may, just looking at this pattern, what may happen is price may find some support here. I may take a short once I actually get out of this video, and I may take that short from 124.45 down to 123.45. I just looked at this pattern and it appeared like I may be in for a pretty good 80 to 100 pip short. I could be wrong, but I think I'm willing to risk that, because if this is wave 3 and it's possible that we have one more move up, you have this as the A, you have this as the B, you have this as the 1, 2, you have another 1, and then possible 2 somewhere around here, and then you would have wave C. So you have, or you can look at this as 1, 2, 3, and this is A, and then you can have this retrace about 50%, which would be right here for B, which is next to the B of one lesser degree, and then you have C, which is a 3, 3, and this will be a 5-way move down, which will probably go a little bit lower than that 123.45. But in that event, what I would do is just trail my stop. I would exit this particular long here. I would move that out of the way, and I would actually just trail it basically. And if it goes more than 100 pips, so be it. But right now, yeah, I'm definitely seeing that price may find some resistance either at about 124.35 or 124.45, and at that point it is possible that we may have one more move to the downside. So keep an eye out on it. And sorry, I should have another video tomorrow. Happy trading.